ding, ding. James Harden, if you haven't heard, going to the Brooklyn Nets. My Brooklyn Nets. But anyways, look, a lot of times when we have these big moves, we never talk about the guys, like the role players that get traded. This is a classy move by Joseph Tsai, the owner of the Brooklyn Nets. He get what he wants. He sends 4 guys away that he really likes, and he thanks them on Twitter. I was traded 3 times. I never got that. Mr. B, owner of the Denver Broncos, who I absolutely love, rest in peace, looked at me and said, Brandon, you're one of my all-time favorite wide receivers. You're one of my all-time favorite Broncos. But if I have to send you to the Cleveland Browns, I'm going to do what's best for the Broncos. Then I go to Miami, Jeff Ireland and Stephen Ross, they just threw my bags out the door. And then you got the McCaskies. They just gave me a pound and said, peace. Nobody gave me a tweet like this, but this is a classy move, setting the tempo. Great job, Mr. Tsai.
Sean Payton setting up the most awkward interactions of Hard Knocks when people leave the team. He's got a good plan, though, for the kicking squad in case a pandemic hits. Here's what happens. First of all, it's like, listen, guys, he's going to sign kicker Blair Walsh and John Denny to the practice squad just in case the team's official kicker and long snapper become unavailable due to the pandemic. Sounds good. That's what happened on Wednesday. Later the same day, boom, out of there. Release them from the practice squad. But now they're kind of in the mix. Then what happens on Thursday? Guys, come in for a tryout. Savvy move from Sean Payton. Should he be paying more attention to Tom Brady and the Bucs rather than the practice squad kicker? That's up to you to decide. But overall, it'll be an interesting episode of Hard Knocks. Like, get your garbage bag. You're out of here. Hey, welcome in. Here's your key card. Hey, come in for the tryout. Then I know it's your favorite show.
I love that show. And Friends. Grant Hill did something last night while calling this Rockets-Spurs game. It reminded me so much of something I did a million years ago. My first big interview when I was a young reporter in Philadelphia, I was so nervous interviewing the owner of the Philadelphia Flyers. I sat down to interview him. My camera guy, Will Kenworthy, was getting everything set up. He says to me, just make conversation. I need a few more minutes. I was so nervous. I tried so hard. I could talk about anything. The Flyers, hockey, anything. I looked right at Ed Snyder and I said, did you see Friends last night? It is exactly what I said, 100%. Last night I'm watching this game. Grant Hill's interviewing Greg Popovich, one of the more intimidating coaches in the NBA, and he says this in the middle of the game. Listen.
But I just want to know for my dinner later tonight, what complements a steak best, a Cabernet or a Syrah?
Do you get to go to dinner?
Okay, at least Pop is a wine guy. Ed Snyder was not a Friends guy whatsoever, which I quickly learned. So props to Grant Hill for pulling the Jenna Wolf last night, Nick.
Jenna, my sports loyalty is being tested this weekend. Do I have more loyalty to the Chiefs or to my professional dignity? And here's why it's going to be tested. The Chiefs are obviously going to beat the Browns. I believe the Bills are an easier matchup. So the loyalty side of my brain says root for the Bills. But if the Bills win that game, this happens to me. So the dignity side of my brain says, obviously you're rooting for the Ravens. So it's not quite a devil and angel on the shoulder situation. It's a human dignity on this shoulder. What's best for the Chiefs on this shoulder? I don't know who I'm rooting for. Wild seems to believe that this will be a defining moment in my career if this happens to me. I disagree with that take, but Wild has been in television far longer than me, and so maybe he knows better than me on this. I'm not that worried career-wise. I'm just worried about, like, I think mustard stains. I think it would sting. Buddy. I don't think it'd be great. Well, no, Brandon, by the way, is such a great teammate. He has offered his hard-earned money that he still owes Jay Cutler to buy me out of this bet. And I'm saying there's no welching on any bets. I'm staying true to the bet. I just don't know who I'm rooting for. That's the issue. The Bills are easier.
Can I give you a take, Jenna?
Yeah, Wild, what's up?
If you were that confident in the Chiefs, you wouldn't care who you played. Remember when you were how confident you were in LeBron? You're like, I want the gauntlet.
No, the Ravens scare me. The Ravens have always scared me.
Okay. He's admitted.
The Bills should scare you.
The Ravens scare me.
The Bills should scare you.
the Bills. That's funny.
Mustard should scare you.
That's funny.
Mustard should scare you. Time now for Drawing a Blank, guys, and happy 42nd birthday to Drew Brees. For Drew's birthday, we got the gift of the Saints facing off with 43-year-old Tom Brady and the Bucs on Sunday. But Brandon, the player you are most excited to watch this weekend is blank.
Ooh, not one player, Jenna. 4. We got Mario Addison, we got Vernon Butler, we got Ed Oliver, and Jerry Hughes. Who's that? That's the Buffalo Bills defensive line. Why did I pick those 4? Because they got that boy right there coming in town, and he's a bad boy, Lamar Jackson. Have you watched him? Have you seen him? These 4, if they want to continue on this road to the Super Bowl, they got to stand up and get to this guy in the pass game and absolutely shut him down the run game. 2 seasons in a row, over 3,000 yards. This rushing attack is serious. It's real. You have to find a way to slow them down.
Brandon, it's a great answer, but it's not the best answer. Because it's been far too long, America. We have waited 330-odd days for the return of the second best show in sports television. Playoff Patrick Mahomes. A guy who's never lost a playoff game in regulation. A guy who has the second most double-digit playoff comebacks in the history of the league. A guy who every playoff game he's ever played, his team had the lead with 1 minute remaining. The last time we saw playoff Patrick Mahomes, he was out there calling wasp, executing an all-time great Super Bowl comeback. What does he have in store for us next? I don't know. I do know my good friends, the Cleveland Browns, are going to be on the receiving end of a beatdown because of it. Wilds, that's who I'm most excited to watch. Second best show on all of sports, playoff Patrick Mahomes.
Never lost a playoff game in regulation is a stat now, I guess. Hey, Myles Garrett. It's not. That was the most qualified stat. It was almost like undignified the way. You can't just keep
one qualifier in regulation. In regulation is the qualifier. In regulation, that's not the statistic. Yeah, that's a disservice. He's never been trailing at the end of the fourth quarter.
Can I hear this Myles Garrett deal, please?
Myles Garrett needs to show up. Myles Garrett needs to have a big game against Patrick Mahomes, and at the end of regulation, Myles Garrett needs to have 2 or 3 sacks. Myles Garrett, although they forced Big Ben into 4 turnovers, Big Ben threw the ball 68 times, and Myles Garrett didn't get a sack. Myles Garrett had 12 sacks in 14 games, got hit with COVID, then kind of slowed down. Time to ramp back up, Myles Garrett. I got to hear more Myles Garrett talk in the first 10 minutes of that game than I have for the last 2 weeks. So, Myles Garrett, it's on you, buddy. Let's see it. End of regulation. I'm still mad about that end of regulation.
On to Kansas City now, where Baker and the Browns hoping to be recreating the magic they pulled off in Pittsburgh, but the Chiefs are the biggest favorites of the weekend. Brandon Marshall, the team that should be on upset alert this weekend, is blank.
The Saints. They got Tampa Bay, and they got Tom Brady the GOAT. But I'm nervous a little bit for those boys. The reason why is because I think they...